Welcome to Market Tapering. My name is Edward Nyakun. The U.S. government on Wednesday announced that it will start tapering of bond purchases later this month, and that will lead to reduction of $15 billion out of the market gradually till next year. We're going to find out what will be the impact of this tapering on frontier market, including Ghana. We'll need to do that is Selasi, Koffi, Ackom, C.E.O. of GITFIC. So we go into the business language realm to find out what tapering is. Welcome back. Now today, first week of November is wrapping up. Right. And Morris is here to do the analysis of the stock market.
Thank you very much, Edward. It's been a phenomenal week. We saw the market going up some 100 points on Wednesday, pushing the market capitalization for the first time in the year to 65 billion Ghana cedis. We started off the week at 64.3 billion by way of market capitalization. On Tuesday, we went to 64.3 billion again, and then on Wednesday, as I said, we saw the market jumping to 65 billion Ghana cedis. But I think on Thursday, that gain wasn't sustained, and so we saw the market coming down marginally. Today also, even though we see the main composite index going up, it was just a marginal gain, and so the composite index by close of trading today went up 1.83 points, and that was led by Benso oil palm plantation. So we saw that the financial stock index registered 0 points because we didn't see any financial stock making any gains. Year to date, 50.99% by way of the main composite index. The financial stock index is at 16.62%. I think on Wednesday we moved to around 51%. 51% by way of year-to-date return. We're still back to 50.99%. Not too much of a fall there. So let's look at the gainers for today. Right, and so it was Benso oil palm plantation. They sold some 8,000 shares, and because of the price of their share, the value of that was 48,400 Ghana cedis, just 8,000 shares. Benso oil palm plantation, the price is 6, as I said, it was 5 cedis 50 pesos. Now it's doing 6 cedi 5 pesos, again 55 pesos. We also saw the likes of MTN. Today MTN didn't really sell much shares on the market. So this is MTN. So they sold okay, this is MTN. Some 871 valued at 1.1 million Ghana cedis thereabout. Not too much of activity on the Ghana Stock Exchange today, apart from Benso oil palm plantation. And then we also saw the likes of
Goil doing 13,000 by the same price,
and some few others. And so Edward, that's how the market is like by close of trading throughout the week. It's exciting.
It's been an exciting week, as you said. Exactly. Yes.
Right.
So that's how we wrap up. That was Morris of Greater doing analysis on the stock exchange. Going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at what the implications are going to be when the tapering start later this month by the U.S. government. Welcome back to Market Avenue. Selasi, Koffi, Ackom, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you once again.
Yeah, we have enough distance, so can I take off?
Yes, please, you can.
Great.
All right. Now, big technology out there, tapering. When we say tapering, what exactly that are we talking about?
Well, I mean, every jurisdiction has its own interpretation of tapering. If you are running a federal government system like the US, like Nigeria, you want to see it as at a different interpretation. If you are running a mono government system like we here in Ghana and sub-region very most often, Ivory Coast, Togo, Sierra Leone, you also have a different understanding of what tapering. However, it all boils down to one economic implication or some specific economic implications. I mean, you want to look at it as a gradual process of putting a hold on purchases of securities and bond. Another economy sees it as such definition because it fits into their context. Then you also want to see it as that policy modification mechanism that relatively adds up to the traditional central banking activities.
Great.
Another economy to look at it that way.
All right.
It fits into their context.
Okay. So, in your view, what was the motivation behind the U.S. government ruling out this monetary policy tool during last year and this year?
Well, I mean, it's obvious that as economic intelligence and people that are so deep in financial understanding would want to look at mechanisms like this at this particular moment because we are still going through phases of an economic crisis, which is a crisis that have withheld government revenues across the world. A crisis that is seeing the shore up of the prices of basic commodities. We are being told that even a barrel of crude maybe from next year will hit about 120 USD per barrel. Currently in Ghana, we are not safe. We are equally not immune from what is happening in big economies like Nigeria, America, the United States of America, like Egypt. Here we are facing our own challenges too, with almost a week-to-week increase of fuel at a pump. Okay, so in such economic destabilization, as you may want to call, due to a global catastrophe like this pandemic, financial architectures that manages every economy would want to get back to the drawing board to look at feasible way of re-engineering and realigning their economies to be able to absorb such shocks. And so when you are looking at absorbing such shocks, then you begin to realize that policies at the policy level, policies that you will be implementing are supposed to be policies that would help in driving the economy probably into a stable situation or to a profitable situation to get the economy going perfectly. So in America, in the United States of America, where this subject is rather coming from, is seeing this process of tapering as a supportive mechanism, which, as I said earlier, are part of these traditional central bank activities that gets an economy stabilized.
So quantitative easing is essentially.
Perfectly.
So to the lay person, you're printing more money into the system so that interest rate will be at
that is one of the economic traditional central bank activities to do in terms like this, to be able to re-engineer your economy, realign your economy, I mean, to be able to benefit your citizenry. Otherwise, I mean, the shouts and then the noise alone may bring down your economy and your government.
Great. Now, someone will ask, so when the U.S. government was doing the quantitative easing, what was the impact, or what were some of the benefits that we had in our part of the world? And if they go, we'll come back to the tapering aspect. Let's look at the QE. When they rolled out the QE in 2020, we are told that as the balance sheet of the U.S. Fed when the COVID struck was $4.3 trillion.
Yeah.
Now we're doing about $8.4 trillion. What were some of the benefits that we had as a?
There were some of the benefits that would be what I would like to term as overspilling of the implications of what the Americans as a large economy in this world have done is probably sustaining investor confidence to the lower income countries, because I mean investors are very skeptical in this time of where to place their monies. And so if there are not better indications or strong indications that would give investor confidence, then in pandemic or difficulties such as this, you will see them either withdrawing or not putting in at all. So their Fed activities is overspilling to our region here. Critically, we may want to see, spiking investor confidence. That is why you would realize that even at the peak of the pandemic here in Ghana, and I'm using Ghana as a case study here, our GIPC tells us that FDIs had increased significantly. Now, you would ask yourself, why would an investor still be interested to put money in an economy at a period like this? It is as a result of some of the spillover effects of the US Fed's activity that comes to economies such as ours. And we still see such FDI rate increase in our country. And so this is typically what it means with their activities and the direct connotation or correlation to lower income or lower middle income
countries,
countries like ours.
So in terms of the currency, our currency, when the QE was being done, we know a lot of dollars have been pushed into the system. What was the direct impact on our part? I
mean, you have to deliver, because then you are looking at economic effects such as the rate of the US currency per your domestic currency. And so we could see fluctuation using Ghana as a case study, the CD and the US dollar. See, if not for such external activities as this, the CD to the dollar in Ghana today could be somewhere around 7.1, 7.2 CDs to a dollar. And so the printing of more currency brought hope to investor confidence, brought in more liquid circulation. Once again, that overspilled into lower income and middle income economies such as Ghana. Basically.
All right. Now, the Fed chairman had announced that later part of this month, November, even though they gave the indication in June this year that they're going to start a tapering, someone will ask, what will be the ramifications on our part?
See, it's important that your viewers understand that it is in line with some of these measures by economic management teams who are of a superior understanding and knowledge or inclination to current dispensations that sees government interventions deliberately, such as putting money in people's pockets. So you would realize that where would a country like America find almost about $3 trillion from to send a check to almost every American's mailbox? Okay, so putting money directly into the pocket. Now that's not all. You have to, and we've said this, GITFIC has argued this, that something unconventional needs to happen in critical times such as this, where, for instance, you would look at the implications in your economy and couch a homegrown policy to have a direct correlation with what is happening in your country. And so that you see things like putting money in employers' pockets to pay salaries, because you want to avoid the issue of unemployment. So you realize that even in times like this, for instance, once again in our case study, government keeps employing. We've seen the security services doing recruitment. These are running in thousands of citizens 15,000, perhaps 20,000, perhaps 30,000 by the time at the security sector alone. Now, where is government going to find money to keep their payroll active by employing more? Interventions such as this that have spillover effect positively is what contributes to the ability to maintain your economy this way. So deliberately you will select entrepreneurs, industries, service sector operators, and put money in their account, looking at their size, their operations over the period, their revenues and their expenditure per what determines how much you put to keep their payroll afloat at least for the next 24 months. You do this, you save your economy a big deal, as in keeping employment. Once employment is being kept, what it also means is that your collectibles, which is tax revenue, will be paid, because you've given the employers money to pay salaries, and so revenue from GRA will still be. So you could realize that GRA hasn't reported on a loss during this period of turbulence. It takes the foresight financial engineers to come up with such financial mechanisms. That is why whenever I appear on your show and many other shows, I do not stop raining praises on governments across the continent, especially our government. Because if you don't know, you get it wrong. If you get it wrong, you risk hiking inflation, because that is the cost of goods and services. And when inflation shoots up to a certain level, your economy collapses, because people cannot buy. Either they have the money and not getting the commodity to buy, or they don't have the money but the commodity is abundant. And so once again this evening also, I will again like to say thumbs up to economic management team, because things like this they do is what positions our economy to be a receiver of such spillovers from activities, from traditional conventional activities within central banks, especially the US, like the Fed.
So you know, the US, the people expecting, some analysts were expecting that inflation is going up gradually in the US, and therefore the Fed should raise interest rates. But it's mute at this particular moment, and it's still observing the situation. Why would they do that?
You realize that typically also in Ghana, once again, our central bank had maintained
the policy rates
consistently. I have said this one time I've been on this show, that our brothers in Kenya, when I spoke with the central bank governor in a meeting not too long ago, consistently for 11 consecutive times, they've maintained policy rates. Because you need to massage the interest rate, the cost of borrowing to the general public by the commercial banks. That accounts to investor confidence, because investors look at some specific economic ingredients before they make decisions, as if they have to join that economy, invest in that economy, or withdraw their investment from that economy. Interest rate is a very key component of economic running an economy. And so if your prime rate is left on the loose, you are discouraging commercial banks automatically from lending. And today there is a bank in this country today that is lending at 18%.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, these are all result of prudent management. See, unfortunately, we from GITFIC at Ghana International School don't see the economy as where the ordinary sees it. Where to them, once they wake up and the cost of KK has increased from 2 cedi to 2 cedi 50 pesos, they are worried. We don't see the economy from that angle. We are not.
It's just because of your kind of knowledge,
well,
and where you sit.
But the truth is that those macroeconomic fundamentals is what account for what happens at the micro level. And so if you are not a watcher of the macroeconomic fundamentals to understand the critical reasonings to some of the economic policies that the economic management team do take, then you will not appreciate the reason why some of the commodities on the market have to slightly change, either increase or decrease, to adjust and fit into the current economic transformation. Don't forget that the economic transformation of Ghana currently is a deliberate agenda by government to to boost confidence both domestically and internationally, and also create excitement in the economy in general, because you need to be able to regulate the economy in such a way that there is much relief, there's much relief on your ordinary citizens. So when we come and we are measuring the economy by what happens at the micro level, then we will not be fair to your viewers. We have to tell them what has been happening in the engine room that is sustaining the economy in periods like this. See, I tell you honestly, and this is a matter of fact and public record, the rate of increase of fuel or gasoline in the United States is excessive than what is happening in
Actually,
Ghana.
it's true.
And that is a matter of public record.
It's true.
So it tells you that the Fed's decision to maintain their policy rate in terms of staggering their interest rate is in the interest of the economic growth of the American economy. And if you realize that, it goes hand in hand with what our economic management team is doing here in Ghana, i.e., the reason why government has decided to introduce the Obatampake. So as I said earlier, in American economy, where the tapering and etc. we are discussing have deliberately, we all saw where Biden has sent checks to mailboxes of almost every American. The higher kids you have in your house, the more money you got to spend. Because at some point in economic growth, you have to spend. You have to circulate liquidity to spend, to sustain the economy. And so the Obatampake goes hand in hand with what Americans have done over the period of the COVID by empowering the employer, giving free money for expenditure in their country, to give money to the Ghanaian society. The ordinary Ghanaian need to have physical cash from the government to sustain and be forced to spend. You need to be forced to spend that money in the economy to get the economy aligned with the negative influence that the pandemic has brought. These are all economic stuffs that you can't understand at that micro stage. And so to you at the down there, all that matters to you is that your bowl of kenke should still remain 2 cedis for you. Your fish should still remain 5 cedis for you. As at how it is done, you just don't care. But opportunities like this offers we at Ghana International Trade and Finance Conference to come and explain to your viewers the reality of managing a prudent economy. Hence, thumbs up once again to the current economic management team of our beloved country.
Thank you very much, Selasi Koffi Ackom, the CEO of GITFIC Ghana, and he's been talking about the ramifications of the tapering of purchases of bonds by the U.S. government on frontier markets, specifically looking at our country, Ghana. My name is Edward Nyakun. God willing, we'll come your way again next week, Monday. Shalom.
It is a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage. The streets are a jumble of filth.